May I?
Oh, Lord.
I mean, I don't really want you
Can
to,
I?
but you can.
Go ahead.
right, listen.
Go ahead. I'll follow
Ohtani,
up. Go ahead.
Ohtani's great. Did a great job.
Phenomenal.
Hits.
Phenomenal.
Comes on. So let's leave him. Can I leave him alone and put him on the side for a second?
Chris Mad Dog Russo recently spewed nonsense, and thus Chicago Cubs starting pitcher and author Marcus Stroman ripped him for it.
We're going to make this out to be an epic at bat? Really? What is Gibson and Eckersley then in the World Series in Game 1 when Gibson hobbled around the bases and hit the home run against Eckersley, Dodgers A's in '88, one of the great home runs in the history of baseball?
World Series. Absolutely.
Okay, but hold it now. Did you see the headlines today? Epic at bat. Incredible moment. What? But why? Because they're teammates? I mean, and Trout does nothing but strike out. Trout struck out twice in the game.
He would continue, and Stroman would weigh in. The fact that Major League Baseball continues to employ this man and give him a platform when he does everything but grow the game is comical.
He strikes out. You know, everybody talks to me about Trout and DiMaggio. I mean, Trout strikes out 175 times a year, plus the fact. Are you looking at me? Look at me. Look at me. Don't look at the ground. Look at me. Plus the fact it was 2 out, nobody on. The game was awful. That game was a bad game, and I was bored stiff.
Watching this back, being completely transparent, this is what an out-of-touch old man sounds like. Stroman would endorse the following message. Craziest thing is, he's on MLB Network, the network that's formed and funded by MLB. Not only has him on, but gives him his own show. Man, I've never watched a second of his antics and don't plan to. He's an absolute clown. Can't stand Mad Dog. Go be mad elsewhere.
It was 2 outs, nobody on. And the game it wasn't like the bases were loaded. It wasn't like he was the winning run at the plate. It wasn't like he fouled any off pitches.
Does he have a point? Stroman does not think so. He would also endorse this tweet. Guys like him are holding the game back. The game evolves, and it leaves dinosaurs like this in its wake. That moment was electric. If he can't see that, maybe it's time to step away from the microphone. If you can, recall this moment. When Chris Russo told Draymond Green to shut up and play, J.J. Redick would rip him, and Stroman would weigh in once more. Russo's been a clown with racist undertones. Everyone knows it. MLB and MLB Network need to fire this guy if they want to properly grow the game. He's a dinosaur with an extremely biased perspective and doesn't believe in black athletes using their voice. Russo treated this at bat like Ohtani was pitching to Trout during a spring training intra-squad game. The stadium was packed, the game garnered global attention, and the sport's 2 best players were facing off in the event's biggest moment. The drama was real, and it was spectacular. And even if you scoffed at the entire tournament, you have to recognize the final at-bat of the WBC was storybook. So look, Russo in the past has provided a ton of fodder when it comes to Ohtani and been wrong plenty of times. What I will say is this in closing, I agree that this does not help grow the game. Also, just thinking about the moment and maybe what it means to more than just you. There were millions of people who watch this tournament from around the world. The game has grown after this. There is legit interest. And then you have Mad Dog Russo talking about Joe DiMaggio and really going off in a positive light on the yesteryears of baseball and downplaying the moment. Yes, it was a big moment. The pitch that Ohtani threw for strike 3 was one of the most unhittable sliders that we will see. It was a huge moment for Japan. It was a huge moment for the sport. But to call it boring, I'm curious, would it not be boring to him if Trout popped up? Because his whole argument was strikeouts. Would it be less boring if he homered off Ohtani and then the States lost? Or if they had a comeback win? Is it dripping in patriotism? I'm truly curious. Because anybody watching it wanted to see that moment. The 2 best players in Major League Baseball who are teammates go up against one another. And we got it. And we're still crapping on it. Just enjoy it, man. It's pathetic.